Are the latest managers worth signing? Now, if you guys new here, I have several videos talking about managers and the use of managers in Dream Team eFootball 2025 and a previous same thing. The only biggest difference were made from eFootball 23 to 22 to 23. Certain things changed with player training and proficiency. Now, before I explain anything of these managers, whether they're good or not, there are 5 playing style: quick counter, long ball counter, position, out wide, long ball. The top 2 meta stands for most effective tactic available. Another way kind of beating the game. Quick counter, long ball counter is king. It's personal preference, in a sense. So a lot of time it's not about who the manager is. It's about which tactic does he have at the highest proficiency. For instance, Mikel Arteta, if your main tactic you prefer long ball counter, and you don't have the previous booster Deschamps, Arteta is definitely worth it. I'm not bothered too much about the fact is that first ever double booster manager. Now, one plus on acceleration type position, like if you have Deschamps and you don't spend regularly, I don't think it's worth it. The 2 plus will help that you need less points on those 2 abilities. That means you save more progression points to spread it out on other abilities. If you have a lot of boosters in your squad and their boost includes type position acceleration, then you can make a little bit of a slightest, effect on it. Otherwise, you're fine with Deschamps booster. And at the moment, the king for quick counter is Xavi Alonso. However, I feel like there are certain things that we used to have on my club, which was a manager ID in a sense, or another particular description, like certain managers has high number in attack, medium in defense, or low in that attack, high in defense. I feel like something like that do exist, but I can't confirm it because there are way too many factors in this game and many things goes against of what the game tells you and what we care for. But generally speaking, I use Alonso and I use Stojkovic. I feel like with Stojkovic is more balanced. I feel like Stojkovic is like, balanced defense, or maybe balanced defense in medium attack. But with Alonso, it's like low defense, high attack, something like that in a sense. Comment down below if you think such thing might still exist in the game. Yeah, most people say there's no difference between Deschamps or, Arteta. It's as long as the same tactic. I'm not saying they're wrong. But I definitely feel like if I compare Arteta with Deschamps, with Arteta, I feel like numbers in attack is not as high. It's not as aggressive as Deschamps. But sometimes when I use Mikel Arteta, even though I'm not using very aggressive players, feels like I'm playing Xavi Alonso or Klopp with Gegenpress. Again, too many factors, can't confirm any of these. It's just an experiment that I take notes, and same thing, different game, different match, different opponent. When certain things are consistently happening, I take note of it. That's it. And of course, the difference between quick counter, long ball counter, to make it simple, with quick counter, you press high up. With long ball counter, you don't press high up. And long ball counter doesn't necessarily mean you're just going to whack a ball into oblivion. You can simply select them and flick your right stick and read that understanding. Plus, I explained in the previous videos. But the top 3 tactics really, quick counter, long ball counter, I'm going to count them as one because personal preference, which one you go, they're both equally good. With certain patches, one of them can be a little bit nerfed and cause you problems. The third one, I would say, position game. 4th out wide, the bottom one, which is the least used, is long ball. Because you invite so much pressure and good smart players will punish you for that. Occasionally you find somebody doing very well with long ball counter, so I'm generally speaking here. Personally, my highest streak was with position game. And my second highest streak was playing out wide. So it could happen sometimes. I just personally don't think you need to play out wide if you want to play a wide I just personally don't think you need to play out wide tactic if you want to play wide. You can just go with formation with wingers. But again, the team playing style is simply a tool. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to play exactly like how the tactic is. So currently Patrick Vieira just dropped and is available. Of course, I signed him and I tested him and he's already fired. Because he's got the 2 tactics that is not, in my opinion, out wide long ball position should be like a secondary option in a way. Like if they drop a manager that has 88 in quick counter and long ball counter, and then the second tactic is 88, that's position or out wide, that would be good. Like Stojkovic or We've got many other managers previously, like for example, Southgate has got quick counter, long ball counter. Proficiency is like 84 and 85, I believe. No, 88. But I'm pretty sure eventually they will release a manager with 88 proficiency between quick counter, long ball counter. Maybe they're gonna release the next booster manager. Probably will be Barcelona manager, Hansi Flick, and I'm guessing he will be position 88, and the second one possibly out wide, quick counter. We'll see. So I don't recommend Patrick Vieira because out wide and long ball are not consistently effective. And if your out wide isn't working, you need to focus down the middle. You can't switch to long ball counter or quick counter or position game because these are proficiencies below 70. You could possibly play quick counter since it's 67, but your players will probably not drop their rating, but they will not have the 3+ boost on the players. I've tried it with 67. My players didn't really drop their, default rating. Like if Messi by default is like 95 rating, it's not going to drop below that. But ideally, you should not use a proficiency that is below 70. That's one thing you should avoid. You don't use a tactic with the proficiency below 70. So for that reason, I am not recommending Patrick Vieira really. Because out wide 88, cool. If it had long ball counter 88 as a second tactic, that would have been better. Or quick counter as a second tactic. Hell, even possession. For those who like to play position, will definitely like out wide. So that would have been good. But they're trying to give us different managers with different tactics, and some of them not have both tactics very OP. So with currently available managers, we talk about Arteta, we talk about Patrick Vieira, and Steven Gerrard was recently released as well. With Steven Gerrard, you can play position and long ball. For those of you guys who like to play position game as your main setup, ideally I would say if your main tactic is position game, the second one should be quick counter. Or long ball counter. So for that reason, unless you are used to position, you always play position, you don't want to swallow your pride, join the gang of sweat, which is fine, but sometimes you gotta swallow your pride if you wanna not cap your potential. I would have recommended Gerrard if his second proficiency was quick counter or long ball counter at least. But it's not the worst one. You have an option between play position game or sit back and play deep. So really, the current managers are available when it comes to the, generally speaking, that is effective. Arteta, pretty much is worth it in a sense. Is the first double booster manager, especially if you have a double boost, a lot of double booster players in your team in a sense. And of course you get a bunch of players with him as well. But if you already have Deschamps, I don't think it's worth it. Now, this was just a quick update about the managers. It's been a while since I made videos about managers. We used to go into much detail. Sadly, I don't have as much time to make content as I used to. Now, comment down below and let me know your experience about these 3 managers that you got and what you think of them in terms of, do certain managers, you guys feel like they have certain features we had on my club, like certain managers have high numbers in attack, medium in defense, and so on. If you experimented with that, let me know, comment down below. And we'll update you guys about the next upcoming managers, of course. I'm thinking we will get Hansi Flick. But I also think we should have legendary managers like Sir Alex Ferguson. Come on, we're a Man United partner.